All right, so we're diving into this UEFA Nations League face-off, Austria versus Norway.
Yeah,
And let me tell you, this one's got some serious heat around it.
definitely.
Talk of the table clash here, folks. Norway, they're sitting pretty right now.
Right at the top.
Top of League B Group 3, 7 points on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Austria, though, they're right behind them.
Yeah.
They're breathing down their necks with 4 points.
Yep.
So this match, this could shake things up big time.
Absolutely. And you know what makes it even more interesting?
What's that?
The roller coaster both these teams have been on lately.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Norway, they've been on fire, right?
Yeah.
Undefeated in the group stage so far.
Mm-hmm.
But Austria, they're kind of finding their groove
Oh,
again.
finding their feet, yeah.
Yeah, after that draw and the loss they had, you know.
Yeah.
But then they come back with that decisive win against Kazakhstan.
Oh, man, that 4-0 drubbing of Kazakhstan,
Right.
Baumgartner, Lienhart, Sabitzer, Seidel, they were unstoppable.
Absolutely clinical. There's always a but.
There's always a but, right?
Yeah.
Austria's defense, I think, might be looking a little
Little thin.
thin, yeah, this time around.
Yeah, you got Alaba.
Alabat,
Yeah. Danso, Wober.
all sidelined.
Yeah, all out.
And that's where Norway's not-so-secret weapon comes into play. Erling Haaland.
The man, the myth, the legend.
We all know this guy's a goal-scoring machine.
Machine is an understatement.
I mean, he just obliterated Norway's all-time scoring record.
Shattered it, yeah.
And those 2 goals against Slovenia, just unreal.
On another level.
But here's the thing, right?
What's that?
It's not just about Haaland's skills. It's about how Austria's going to deal with him, especially with their defense, you know?
Exactly.
Looking a little shaky.
It's a tactical puzzle, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you stop a force like Holland, especially when your defense is...
Missing some key players.
Exactly. That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, it really is. It's like we're looking at 2 completely different games, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild.
One side, you've got Austria, maybe playing it a bit safe, trying to, like, control the pace.
Keep possession, yeah.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And then on the other side, you've got Norway, who might just chuck the playbook out the window
Just go for it.
and rely on those moments of individual brilliance.
Exactly. Why not?
It's going to be fascinating.
It really is.
So let's say, right, Austria, they do decide, okay, we're going to try and contain Holland.
Mm-hmm.
How do you even start with that?
That is the question, isn't it? I mean, the guy's a force of nature.
He's a beast.
One option, right? You could try to crowd him out.
Just like swarm him.
Yeah, deny him space. Exactly.
So every time he gets the ball, there are 2 Austrian defenders right there.
Like a pack of wolves.
But then wouldn't that leave other areas of the pitch open?
That's the gamble, right?
Yeah.
It's a calculated risk.
So what's stopping Norway from taking advantage of that?
Well, Austria would have to be incredibly disciplined, right?
Right.
They need to close those gaps quickly, maintain their shape.
So it's high risk, high reward.
Exactly. High risk, high reward.
And speaking of risk, let's talk about Austria's own attack for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they hammered 4 goals past Kazakhstan.
They did.
They can clearly find the back of the net.
They can, yeah.
How do you see their attack matching up against Norway's defense?
Well, that attacking display definitely turned some heads.
It did, yeah.
And remember Sabitzer?
The midfielder.
Yeah, the midfielder we were talking about.
Yeah.
He's not just about defense, you know.
Oh, right.
He can pack a punch going forward.
He can score goals.
He can. And if Austria can get a grip on that midfield, Sabitzer, he could be the key for them.
The key to unlocking the Norwegian defense.
Exactly. Those killer passes, those through balls, that's his game.
So it all starts in the midfield.
It often does.
Control the midfield, create the chances, you score the goals.
That's the idea.
But we can't forget about Norway's defense either.
No, they've been solid.
They've been really good throughout this Nations League.
They have, yeah.
What are some of their strengths at the back?
Well, discipline, definitely.
Right.
Organization is key for them.
Organized, yeah.
They don't dive into tackles. They hold their positions. They communicate well.
A tight unit.
A tight unit, exactly. Not easy to break down.
Okay, so we've talked about Austria's game plan or potential game plans. We've talked about Norway's defensive strengths.
Yep.
Now, let's get to the good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk betting tips.
The fun part.
The fun part. Now, you mentioned earlier that Tips Moto, they're leaning towards a Norway win.
Slight favorite, yeah.
But what else stood out to you from their tips?
Well, one thing that caught my eye was the suggestion to think about betting on both teams to score.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I was just thinking with how solid Norway's defense has been,
Yeah, you'd think
you wouldn't necessarily bet on both teams to score.
you wouldn't, but you got to look at the bigger picture, right?
Context.
The context, yeah. Austria's attack, they're coming off a 4-goal game. They're playing at home. The crowd's going to be behind them.
Yeah.
I think there's a good chance they're going to create some opportunities.
Right. So even though Norway's got a strong defense, tips Moto, they're saying Austria might just be able to sneak one in.
Especially on home turf, yeah.
Especially on home turf, that home advantage.
It can make a difference.
It can make a difference.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we might see goals from both sides.
Potentially.
What about the total number of goals scored? Any thoughts there?
Now, this is where it gets interesting for those who like a little risk.
Okay, I like a little risk.
Tips Moto, they're suggesting maybe leaning towards over 2.5 goals for this match.
So they're expecting a few goals then?
Not necessarily a goal fest, but, you know.
A good few goals.
A good few goals, yeah.
Right.
More action, more excitement.
Okay, I like it. And we can't talk betting tips without mentioning the
elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room, or should I say the goal-scoring machine on the pitch?
Erling Haaland.
Erling Haaland, exactly. What's the word on him?
Well, Tips Moto, they're suggesting keeping an eye on Haaland in the first goal scorer market.
Okay, but that's almost too obvious, isn't it?
You'd think so, right?
I mean, surely the odds wouldn't be that great.
Well, you might be surprised.
Really?
Yeah, the odds might not be as juicy as some of the other strikers out there.
Right.
But given his recent form and, you know, those potential weaknesses in the Austrian defense,
Yeah.
there could be some value there.
Okay, that makes sense. Calculate the risk, calculate the reward.
Exactly.
Now, before we move on, there's one more thing we haven't really touched on yet.
What's that?
The absence of Norway's captain, Ødegaard.
Right.
How do you think his absence might impact Norway's overall strategy for this match?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, Ødegaard, he's not just a creative spark for them.
He's the captain for a reason.
Exactly. He's their leader on the pitch.
The one who makes them tick.
Exactly. He controls the tempo. He dictates the flow of the game.
So without him, they need to find a way to, replace that.
Yeah, it's not just about replacing his creativity.
It's that leadership, that tactical awareness.
And that's why other players need to step up.
Fill the void.
Exactly. Someone like Sander Berge, for example.
Okay, yeah.
He's got experience.
He's a solid defensive midfielder.
Exactly. He'll need to take on more responsibility.
Both defensively and offensive.
Exactly. He'll need to provide that defensive cover, but also distribute the ball effectively.
Start those attacks.
Exactly. It's a big ask for him.
It is.
But that's what happens when a key player is out. Other players have to rise to the occasion.
It's the true test of a team, isn't it?
It really is.
Can they cope without their talisman?
Can they adapt? Can they find a way to win?
Those are the questions that we're going to find out the answer to.
On the pitch.
On the pitch.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
Ødegaard's absence, it just adds another layer of intrigue to this already fascinating matchup.
It does, yeah. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
You know, it's funny how things work out sometimes in football.
Tell me about it.
Because you could almost argue that Ødegaard being out actually plays into Austria's hands a little bit here.
I see what you mean.
Because they're going up against a Norway side that's missing their conductor, right?
Yeah, the midfield maestro.
Your creative hub.
Exactly.
Could this be Austria's chance to really take control of that midfield?
It's definitely a possibility, right? Think about it. Austria's midfielders.
Yeah.
They see this potential weakness in the Norwegian lineup.
Yeah.
They're going to be more aggressive, more likely to press high.
Oh, so instead of sitting back, they might actually take the initiative.
Exactly. Try to force Norway into making mistakes.
Capitalize on that uncertainty.
Exactly. When you're missing a key player like Ødegaard, those little disruptions in rhythm, they can really throw you off your game.
And let's not forget, Austria, they've got a point to prove here.
They do. They need a result.
They want to show they're not just here to make up the numbers.
They want to compete.
Exactly. Make a statement. And winning this match, it's not just about the points on the table.
It's about pride, momentum.
Well, it's about sending a message, right?
Absolutely. To Norway, to the rest of the group.
Even to themselves.
Maybe even to themselves, yeah. We're here to play.
Yeah, don't count us out.
Exactly.
And that's where I think the mental side of this.
The psychological game.
The psychological game. It comes into play.
Huge factor.
Austria playing at home, crowd behind them.
The crowd's going to be electric.
They're going to be fired up, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you know they'll be looking to avenge that earlier defeat to Norway.
Absolutely. That's going to be in the back of their minds.
So we've got these clashing narratives, right?
It's a story.
It is. Norway, top of the group.
Trying to stay there.
Trying to maintain that momentum, even without their captain.
Right.
And then you've got Austria,
The underdog.
The underdogs, yeah, looking to shake things up.
Love it. Classic David versus Goliath.
It's gonna be good. But it's not just a friendly, is it?
No, this is serious business.
This is the UEFA Nations League.
Big stakes.
So much more than bragging rights on the line here.
Exactly. A win for either team
Yeah.
could have huge implications for their Nations League journey.
How so?
Well, the winner of this group, they get promoted
Promoted?
to League A,
Oh, wow.
the big leagues.
Wow, so they'd be up there
Playing with the best of the best.
with Europe's elite.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so the pressure is definitely on.
Oh, yeah, the stakes are high.
Because promotion to League A, that's massive.
Massive achievement for either of these teams.
It really is. Man, it's incredible how much one match
I know, right?
can just have so many layers to it, you know?
It's what we love about football.
We've got the tactical battle, the individual brilliance,
The mental game.
the mental game, the potential rewards, the